Hello fellow viewers, it's me, the Cock Nerd here. Today, I'm reviewing Thor Ragnarok, another Marvel movie in the Marvel franchise. Thor Ragnarok I thought was actually a great movie. It still had the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 vibe, which I'm starting to dislike now. I really do dislike the vibe of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with all that 90s music. It's still a really great vibe, but I'm starting to really dislike it. Thor Ragnarok separates itself from that, but also keeping the weird and wacky thing from it. Because Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel Comics in general has always been a wacky franchise, so I do understand the way more wacky stories, but something I can agree with in the weird art styles, which still reminisces on the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, which I do dislike about some parts of the movie, which, that's just my own opinion, it's still a great movie. Thor Ragnarok, I think, is a really, really great movie. Is it the best Marvel movie? No. Has more comedy. It's the best Thor movie. Thor 1 and 2, I'm being honest, guys, it wasn't that good. Thor: Dark World I thought was decent. Alright. First Thor was so boring. I'm sorry, guys. The first Thor was so boring. They didn't have a lot of comedy. So this one, I feel like it really changed Thor, which is, I think this, pretty sure this is the last Thor movie, so it was actually generally really, really good. And I really do applaud them for making the last one actually really good. And this was actually a really good movie. People do say that it does kind of refer on the Galaxy 2, which is the weird music and the art style, which I can kind of agree with. It does sort of reminisce on the Guardians of the Galaxy and the music, which something I can also agree with. I kind of can't. This movie was great. It generally was. Loved all the characters. Thor felt more as a fully established character besides just being a born blank slate who thought he was all cool and stuff. In this movie, he was way more cockier and way more foolish and a jokester like he was in the other Avengers movies. Which, no, you know what? Thor kind of reminds me of Aquaman and Justice League movies. He's more cocky, more hilarious, more wacky, which is something I can applaud, which is really cool. This was a really good movie. There was problems I do have with the story and the tone with the cut of some of the characters, like when it switches to Hela and then Thor, which Hela's parts were kind of dry. It was still really funny, but it was kind of dry with Ronan, the executioner. It wasn't Ronan, it was the bald-headed dude. Her and Hela talking just got really boring real quickly. Hela was a great villain. She was really wacky and silly. More of a brattiest villain, I would say. She was really bratty in my opinion, which I did like her as a villain. She was great. And Loki, I did feel like was actually a great person too. And the Grandmaster was amazing. I have a lot to talk about him because he was probably my favorite character for how funny he was. Especially his end credit scene at the end. If you guys don't know, at the end we see what happens to him, which is absolutely hilarious. And also there's another end credit with the Infinity Stones, which I'll have to explain about that. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let's get 300 subscribers. I'm so close. Yeah, I'm so close. And when I do, I'll make more videos when I'm not being lazy. So I got review Stranger Things 2. Yes, I do know season 2. I've reviewed the first season. Go watch that if you haven't, because I think that's one of my best reviews. I'm thinking about rewatching it to review that, and I have to review Justice League, which that's a lot of movies I have written down. I also want to talk about Rick and Morty season 3. I want to talk more about cartoons, Steven Universe, and Team Nuts. It's gonna be a while. I have a lot of stuff to review. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Let's get into the story and characters.
So then, Thor Ragnarok is a great film, I have to say. This is probably the film that the main character loses a lot more than Civil War. Civil War is a serious movie that handles itself very, very seriously, and a lot of deep stuff happens. Thor Ragnarok doesn't take itself that seriously, but a lot of stuff happens with the main character, which is Thor. And generally, I love Thor in this movie. Thor has always been a cocky character in the Marvel Universe. They haven't really shown it, but there's certain times where in the beginning of the movie, he's very cocky and he thinks he's gonna win, and it's really hilarious to see Thor as how he is in the comic books, because in the comic books sometimes he gets very cocky and it's absolutely hilarious. But nonetheless, he does lose a lot, such as his hammer, one of his eyes, which, sorry for that grainy footage, but yes, he does lose one of his eyes, and he also loses his beautiful hair, which is kind of funny. And I think the whole entire movie this movie was set up is just to see Thor fight Hulk, to be honest. I really thought the whole entire movie was just set up just to see Thor fight Hulk. Just that one scene was why the movie was made, just to see Thor fight Hulk. Well, everything else was set up because of that. That was just the main reason. Like Civil War, the main reason Civil War was set up just to see Iron Man, the Captain America fight. There's a lot of other stuff in it, but that was kind of the main thing that everyone wanted to see in this movie, which I thought was amazing. The fight generally was kind of short, but I thought it generally was a great fight and a really good scene. Hulk in this movie is absolutely amazing. I love the dynamic between Hulk and Thor. Now, Hulk kind of is like a 5-year-old. He's really immature and really selfish. That's what I love about Hulk. Hulk has always been selfish and an immature child in the comics. We've never been able to fully hear him talk. Most of the time we've heard him smash, but in this movie he's like a 5-year-old child with superpowers. It's absolutely funny to me. And I also love the dynamic between Bruce Banner and Thor, which is kind of very bromance, which is really funny. And I even love the scene where he tried to transform and he felt the helicopter and basically almost killed himself. It was absolutely hilarious, and the dog was just staring at him. That was probably the funniest scene in my opinion. The movie was generally really great with that scene, and the dynamic between Bruce Banner and Hulk was really great. We've never really get to see the struggle between both of them. We've seen it once or twice, it's been hinted at, but we get to see it more, sort of. I would love it if we could see a Hulk movie, but you know, Universal still has that on tight, so we really won't be able to see how Hulk and Bruce Banner fight each other over power, which is absolutely quite an interesting concept I would love to see in another movie like that. And they're absolutely great. I love them in this movie. How funny they were and just how geeky Bruce Banner was. Bruce Banner always has been a geeky person, but this movie, you get to see how out of his own world he gets more geeky and is all crazy and is weirder, which I loved about him. I even love the scene where Hulk attacks, well, the demon thing, which was a fire demon from the beginning of the movie, which Loki activates him again or brings him back. And then Hulk tries to attack him, and Thor screams at him, "Don't do it, you idiot!" Like, and then like most of the movie, Hulk and Thor fight each other, like they scream and yell at each other. Was absolutely funny. It's like a weird friendship where they just scream at each other, call each other idiots or dummies because they're doing something dumb or trying to stop something, which is absolutely funny to me. Hulk was generally great in this movie. The CGI didn't look that weird in my opinion. The CGI looked weird at some points, like in Age of Ultron, the beginning scene when everyone was fighting. That's what the CGI kind of showed, that really weirdness. The part where Hela was showing, that's what weird CGI. But CGI with Hulk in general was alright. His animation CGI generally looked perfect and amazing. This is how a real life Hulk will look like, or would, if he ever existed, or would exist. The CGI never looked off or any forms of weird, and I thought it was really great. There also was a hint of Hulk still wearing Black Widow, which I love the scene where Thor tried to redo the hand motion, and he ends up getting smashed in, and it was absolutely hilarious. It was super funny, and I loved the fight scene when they were fighting. I would have liked it if they didn't show it in the trailers, which I felt was kind of a waste. Which, to be honest, I really wouldn't have watched the trailer if they spoiled the scene where Hulk and Thor fight each other. I would like if they just handled that for the movie, which I'm very, very frustrated about. Please, Marvel, stop showing the best part of your movies in the trailers. I know people are still going to go see it, but that's just going to make a big, big surprise in the movie. I would have loved it if you would have known who this is. People who haven't seen the trailers probably wouldn't have not known, but if you've seen the trailers, you already knew he's going to show up in the movie. So I was kind of generally disappointed in that, which that would have been a really big surprise to everyone. The Loki we all know and kind of hate. Now, I do know people who like Loki, but I generally think I'm tired of him in the Marvel movies. He's still a great villain, but also is trying to become a hero and has tricked Thor multiple times in this movie and the other movies. He has now taken over Asgard and faked as Odin for a while, and he has put his dad on Earth, which that is pretty messed up, and I'll explain what happens to his dad later. And he also tries to make friends with the Grandmaster, even though Thor could possibly get killed. Now, I do know Loki is kind of an anti-hero. He does do good and bad stuff, but that's kind of crazy. He probably knows that Thor will survive, or he did try to help Thor, but still, I generally think that was kind of messed up just to let his brother die or get beaten to death by Hulk, which is kind of messed up. And I generally thought that he was going to betray Thor at the end and join Hela to rule over Asgard. But I'm generally great he didn't, which this is kind of a redeeming movie for him too. Which I thought the Black World, or Thor the Black, whatever it's called, was kind of a redeeming. The ending was kind of redeemed to him, but nope, he couldn't redeem himself. He decided to fake out as Odin, and he also tried to put Odin at a old retirement home, which I thought was kind of a funny joke. But if you more think about it, that's kind of messed up. And he faked as Odin, and Odin ended up eventually passing away. Not because of Loki, which I eventually thought maybe it was because of Loki, but most because of old age, and he eventually did pass away, which was generally kind of sad. And there also was some photos of him looking like a homeless person, which I'm pretty sure that was just like early test photos. I don't know if they never showed up. That's probably going to be like something like the Blu-ray DVD or something of how Odin survived in America. Not in America, but on the streets on Earth, and how he survived. I would like that. But yes, Odin ended up passing away, and this is how Hela came out, which was a pretty weird way for the main villain just to come out of nowhere. I thought it was kind of weird, but you know, they have to get Hela to come out of nowhere. I thought that she would have been like locked out of somewhere, and you know, maybe the janitor dude would have broke her out, which I would get to him later. But yes, he ended up passing because of Loki. Well, it really wasn't because of Loki, but Loki's kind of a messed up anti-hero. He still did good to redeem himself at the end, but still, it was really messed up. Before I talk about Odin and the janitor dude, I also want to talk about a little Easter egg I saw in the movie, which just really wasn't an Easter egg. This was a full-on cameo. It wasn't really a cameo. It was more of just another superhero talking to another superhero. Basically, I don't know where Loki gets into a little hole, makes under him, and he falls through it, and Thor finds this little letter. So he goes to it, and he finds Doctor Strange, which you guys don't know. I like Doctor Strange. The effects were amazing. I would like to see it in the movie a little bit, but yes, he talks to him about finding his father, which this is how they meet Odin back, which I thought was a really weird way to see Odin again. I thought they just found him as a homeless dude or the retirement home, and he ends up dying in Asgard or something, but nope, it's because of Doctor Strange, which I thought was really weird. He only shows up and then disappears out of nowhere. It was kind of weird, and Doctor Strange is a really different character from the last movie. He is more serious, not that weird dude who found out about magic. He's only been like this Strange for like maybe a couple months, I'm sure. So it's really weird how he's fully become on Doctor Strange, and how he's fully used to meeting Thor, and he's probably fought in thousands of weird demonic gods after Dormammu, which I can expect, which that was a really weird cameo. And it's basically the end credit scene for Doctor Strange. They just it's the same scene basically, just a little more stuff added in, but it's basically the exact same thing with the liquor, and it refills, which I thought that was kind of funny. It was interesting, and I would have liked it if he could have faced off with Hela, with Hulk and Thor, which I thought would have been awesome. And I thought he even would have brung back Thor's eye at the end, which he didn't. He didn't even show up at the end, which I thought was kind of weird and kind of a really weird cameo. I really would have liked if he showed up at the end and started, making Asgard all crazy and stuff, and the Rainbow Road, which I thought would have been a really cool effect, but it didn't actually happen. I'm kind of sad, but it does make sense since this is a Hulk and Thor movie. It would have been too many characters since we already had a Valkyrie, which I'll get to her later. But I'm generally kind of sad and I see Doctor Strange in this movie. But I still thought, it was a really cool cameo. Hela, if you guys don't know, is Thor's sister, which that's a spoiler. Well, this whole entire review has been a spoiler, so nonetheless. Hela is probably, I would say, a great villain. She is not really the standard Marvel villain. She's more bratty and more whiny than most of the villains, because in some parts she was like really bratty in how she acted and kind of acted like she was kind of comedic, which, you know what, yeah, I think that's good. I'm pretty sure she's not going to be the one-off villain in this whole entire series, which I generally do liked her in this movie. Enjoyed her in this movie. She was really cool, and I've heard some people say that she is pretty sexy, which can't put my statement on that, but you know what, I can agree she's pretty attractive besides the face. I'm sorry, I do sound like a jerk. But she was generally a great villain in this movie. I enjoyed her. She was alright. She really didn't stand out as a villain. She is the normal villain. She was pretty menacing, not like, a new villain, or, didn't show anything different about their Marvel villains. Either it can be funny or they can be really serious. They decided to make her kind of the middleman, which she still made jokes, but she was also kind of serious and kind of threatening, which I did enjoy about her. She is pretty powerful. She did break Thor's hammer and destroyed most of Asgard's guards. I'm sorry. And she was really good. I enjoyed her. Her costume I did like, because it's sort of comic accurate, which I did like, which I do have problems sometimes in comic movies not being comic accurate, which hers was pretty comic accurate. Didn't have all the colors, and the helmet was kind of a little bit different, but in the all different, she was changed up a little to look like the new version, which I can agree looks way better than her old version, because her old version looks decent, but I still do enjoy her new costume more than the old one. And I did see some concept art, which I did like about her costume way more, with the more green, and she did have more powers, like have to do with shadows. And in most video games, or if you see her in the comics, she has more power to do with shadows and teleportation, which in this they really never showed. And she did bring a couple people back to life, but they really never showed her really using her powers to the full extreme. The only thing she did was throw knives and kill a whole bunch of dudes by throwing knives at them and using swords, which I thought was pretty interesting and really cool. But still, I really would have liked if they showed her full-on real powers. And since she said she's the goddess of death, will she be in Infinity War? If you guys don't know, the reason why Thanos wants to kill the Avengers and kill all of Earth is to impress the goddess of death, which is Death herself. And she has said that she is the goddess of death. So is she going to be Death in Infinity War? Is Thanos going to try to impress her? If so, that would be really cool, and I would love to see that. For her to make a return and to see Thanos fall in love with her, that would be actually really cool. But besides having a new character come in, just have an old character like Hela appear. This is basically the starting point to see Death in the Marvel Universe, which I think that would be really, really cool. Valkyrie's movie was absolutely amazing. Well, I wouldn't say it was amazing. She was decent. She was an interesting character, and I thought that she was kind of forced in a little bit with her backstory about fighting Hela, which that was really forced out in the trailers a lot, which I'm kind of hate about that. But to be honest, she was an alright character. I would have liked it more if she was just a random person that Thor met, and that eventually she worked with Thor besides having a backstory with Asgard and leaving it, which I thought was quite interesting. And there also has been some controversy of her being changed up, because originally in the comics, Valkyrie is a white woman, but in the movie, she is a African-American or a black lady. Now, I'm African-American myself, you guys already know that. But to be honest, I care less if a person's race is changed in the comics. I'm not really that well educated on blackface and whiteface and changing certain characters. The only thing I know some stuff about it, but I'm not really that well educated about it. Tell me how you guys feel about changing characters' races or sexuality in comic books or movies. I do have a problem with it, generally, like the female Thor. I thought it was kind of weird to change the character's sexuality completely. I did have a problem with it in general, but I'm not that really well educated on it. I do have problems with changing a character's race, sexuality, or gender. I do have problems with it, but to be honest, I'm not that well educated on it. So I want you guys to tell me how you feel about it, or tell me more stuff of how you feel about it. Just to show me, because I'm not that well educated about stuff like this. She still really was a great character, and I enjoyed her the fullest. I would have liked it if she had more action scenes, or she actually fought Thor, if she would have more of a villain architect, or she was more evil, or maybe she wanted to actually stay there and she tried to almost kill Thor, and then maybe towards the end she changed into a hero. I would have liked that. And I kind of also thought that her and Loki would have got together, or her and Hulk, because that scene where her and Loki fought, I kind of would have thought that would have been hinting that both of them would have got together, or that her and Hulk, or her and Bruce Banner would have got together, because they really had some type of chemistry. Like, her and Hulk were really good friends at one scene, and she really wanted to, and she felt like she knew Bruce Banner. So I was kind of hoping that them two got together, or her and Loki. So that's how I feel about Valkyrie. She was a great character. The controversial stuff, tell me how you feel about that in comments. She was a great character. I felt like she was kind of forced in with her backstory, but nonetheless, she was a great character.
Master, this movie was absolutely great. I thought he was probably a really good villain. Well, he didn't really feel like a villain. He felt like more of just a conflict. I would have liked it more if he was more of a villain in this movie. He did feel like a villain, but he didn't really feel like a real on full-on villain. It was just kind of somewhere it was just conflict just to block Thor away from getting back to Asgard. I would have liked it more if he would have maybe worked with Hela, or if he was more of a villain. They really didn't say anything about him being a villain, but I would have liked it more if they really treat him as a villain and made him more threatening. Jeff Goldblum is great as the Grandmaster, and I absolutely enjoyed him in this movie. I do have problems with Grandmaster not being comic book accurate. Now, I have no problem with characters being not that comic book accurate, but I really do like the Grandmaster. He is a great, interesting Marvel villain / anti-hero. But in the film, he really was just chopped down to a joke, in my opinion. In the comics, Grandmaster is one of the most powerful villains in the Marvel Universe, besides Thanos and his brother, the Collector. Which you guys don't know, the brother, him and the Collector are brothers. But I'm generally disappointed that he doesn't look like the comic book version. The comic book version looks kind of goofy, but is pretty powerful and is really threatening with the red eyes. And yes, I said him and the Collector are brothers, and they have confirmed it. And they also, I'm pretty sure that there's also more of them. They have brothers too, which I'm pretty sure they're going to show up in the next Marvel movies with their brothers. Well, I think I have one more brother who's also basically a god, which both of them are immortal. But I'm just disappointed that he's not the crazy lunatic dude like this. He's still a really great character, but I'm generally disappointed that he's not the comic book version of him, who's more menacing. Jeff Goldblum is a great comedian. I love the jokes he made about Asgard and stuff. He was a great character, but I'm disappointed. Now, Executioner is not a big character, more of a minor character in the movie, but I would have liked it in this movie if it was more of a villain archetype besides just being a lonely person who sifts side 24/7. I'm not doing that just to sound rude, but to be honest, I would have liked more if he would stayed alive and became a villain later in maybe Infinity War if he worked with Thanos and Hela. That would have been really interesting, but apparently he dies at the end of it, sacrificing himself, kind of a redeeming arc for him, which I thought was alright, but I would have liked it more if he stayed as a villain and worked with Hela and Thanos. He was a really good actor, and I like his design. It was really cool, and his two little guns, which it was really fun in the beginning where he named them. I think it was like Mike and Talia or something like that. But still, he was a really, really dull character in my opinion. Now, Heimdall is not a big character, but is a big character in the Thor movies. I just want to say Heimdall is a pretty cool character, and I would like it, guys. Let's get Heimdall either a one-shot or a spin-off TV show. Think about that. Heimdall and some Asgard people. Asgard people fighting off weird and wacky monsters as Heimdall is the leader. Wouldn't that be cool, guys? Ready to give him a one-shot. I would like it if Heimdall just got a one-shot, because Heimdall, a pretty cool character. He's basically the discount Blade of the current Marvel Universe right now, in my opinion. But Heimdall's pretty cool. And for some reason, he can also Thor can see through his eyes, so him and Thor must also be really good friends or something, or they must have probably a long history, which I would like to see or know more about, which I'd be pretty interesting. But Heim's a good character. Heimdall's a pretty good character. The one problem I have with him is that his name is hard to pronounce. The character that everyone's been talking about on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram is Krog. Krog is a rocket who kind of looks like the Thing from Fantastic Four. The reason why everyone likes him is just how friendly he is. He's a great character. I would love to see him in another Thor movie. He's really funny and really friendly. I'm glad he had enough time in the movie not to be over the top annoying, but just to have the right amount of him being in the movie. I loved him in the movie. He was a great character. Love the CGI. If you guys don't know, he's played by the director, the director's also made a lot of comedy movies which I enjoy him. And he also has a friend named Meek. I'm not talking about the director, I'm talking about Krog. And I can't find any pictures of Meek, but Meek is probably my second favorite character, because Meek he's like a little bug with like robotic limbs who just flips around, and it's really funny. Like, always in the background, he's always flipping around. I love him in the movie. This is the best picture I could find of him. You guys, that's basically how he looks like in the movie, right, guys? And at the end, Krog thought he killed him, and it was kind of funny. That was like the end of the movie. Oh, I thought he killed him, so I felt bad for him. That's how the movie ends.
Krog admitting that he almost killed his friend. It's really dark, but it's a funny scene in my opinion. But Krog is a great character. Loved him. Loved the CGI with him. I'm kind of still confused about how rock anatomy works with his body. Like, do you have a rock heart, rock insides, rock blood? We don't know, but I'm pretty sure he's made of power of rocks. And like the Thor: The Dark World, remember he threw a hammer at some rock dude and the dude exploded into rock. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's just made of rocks. He has nothing outside of him. I'm going way too detailed on this, but yeah, Ragnarok is a great Marvel movie. There's a lot of problems I do have with the movie and trying to be the Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 2.5. It's still a great movie. Love the color schemes. Love all the CGI characters. This went full out with the wackiness. Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 2, I felt, held back on the wackiness, but I feel like this movie went full on with the crazy and crazy and weird and wacky moments, such as the Devil's Anus, which is right there. But this movie was absolutely amazing. I suggest, if you're a Marvel fan, if you want to watch something that's funny, wacky, enjoy it. I thought this movie was kind of short to me, in my opinion. I felt it was shorter than the other movies, but it was generally a great movie. If you're a Marvel fan, you would love it. It might be too wacky for people who think it's, a Marvel movie, but still, it's generally a great movie. It's pretty wacky. I enjoyed it myself. A lot of characters in the movie what I had problems with. It still was a great movie. I loved it, enjoyed it. Not gonna buy it on Blu-ray, but it's a great movie.
Thor Ragnarok, everyone. It was a great movie. A lot of stuff. It was very fulfilled. There was a lot of stuff in the movie. It was a great movie. A lot of color scheme. It was a very bright and vibrant movie. I loved it. Too many characters I have, in my opinion, was a lot of characters. I was in a rush to review this. I kind of had a cold. I do apologize, but I really wanted to get this review out. I do have some other stuff to review, such as Stranger Things Season 2 and Justice League, and maybe It. But also Rick and Morty Season 3, which I'm going to talk about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. It took me a while. Please like, comment, subscribe. We're close to reaching 300 subscribers. I'm excited. I really am. So I'm really excited to just say thank you guys. We're close to 300. I'm really excited. I'm doing this. I don't know why. But thank you guys for enjoying this review. It took me a while to make this, and I'm using a new editing system. Tell me how you guys feel about if you like the old one or the new one. I generally think the new one is way more better. I'm just saying thank you guys for 300 subscribers. This is just a great moment in my life right now. 300 subscribers. Got Stranger Things Season 2 to finish watching. Then I gotta do Justice League review, which I hope Justice League doesn't suck. If it does, then I'm going to have to fill up my anger in that review. That review is going to be more of a analyzation of the Justice League movie and my problems with some of the characters. But generally, this is a great movie, Thor Ragnarok. It felt kind of short in my opinion. It was still a really great movie. I felt the movie was kind of short and some of the characters were kind of boring. The CGI and all the colors were great and amazing. I love the animation. The Hulk was really great in this movie. I would have liked it more if it was like Hulk, Planet Hulk, but they can't say it because, copyright issues with names, but it was a great movie. It's not my favorite. Spider-Man Homecoming did beat it. Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 2 I did feel like was better than this movie. I still do kind of hate the Guardian of the Galaxy vibe in movies like this, but I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and guess who's here with me? Let me bring them up here. My dog decided to just sit here with me, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I have to finish reviewing Stranger Things with my dog. My dog won't leave me alone. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and yeah. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a great day, and my dog's here. So hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys later. And my dog Pepper. Bye.